This is Ney versus Wellington. This is an old SPI game from late 70s, early 80s. Um, that battalion level game of the Battle of Quatre Bras, I guess it's pronounced. One of the preliminary battles right before Waterloo. Um, This is a pretty interesting game, I'm finding. I don't have a lot of experience with some of the old SPI games, so this is really proving enlightening for me. I always was under the impression that they were kind of all dated and basic, kind of just the legend, the classic I go, you go games. But I'm finding that a lot of them actually had some pretty interesting and innovative mechanics, and this is definitely one of them. For example, the sequence of play is really interesting. See if I can find the cheat sheet. Yeah, so for example, um, here's the sequence of play. As you can see, it starts off with the French charge declaration phase, where they declare whether or not their cav units are going to charge, and then there's a French rally phase, an Allied facing formation phase, where the Allies can change formation, line, column, uh, square, skirmisher, and also change the facing because facing matters in this game. And then the Allies get to move, and then the French get to shock anything that's adjacent. Then both sides fire artillery and infantry, and then the Allies kind of finish up the turn by doing some of the things that the French have already done, like charge declaration, rallying, and then I think the French get to do facing and formation change, and then they march, and then the Allies shock, and the end of turn. So as you can see, it's really kind of a interesting asymmetrical turn, which really makes you stop and think about how you want to sequence things. It's really interesting so far. Not sure I have it all down pat. Some of the other interesting things about it are instead of just like a standard CRT, odds-based CRT, where you total up your side, total up the defense, find what odds column you are on the CRT and roll a die, and then find out how many losses a side gets. Because it's battalion level, you're basically doing, a direct fire kind of thing. So here's the fire combat results table, where you're determining what class the target is based on what formation it is in, and maybe what cover it has, and then you're figuring out how much how many troops you have firing, and what their effectiveness level is, which is kind of like their proficiency or morale or training and stuff like that. And so that's kind of interesting. And then like the shock combat results table is also, kind of unusual. It is a odds based, but then you're also factoring in the difference between the attacker and defender's effectiveness rating. Um, a elite unit going up against shocking against maybe militia is going to have an advantage. So that's unusual too. So it's pretty interesting. There's lots of interesting things going on in this little game that I'm really enjoying right now. There's some extensive rules for skirmishers, which I'm finding were much more prevalent in the Napoleonic era than I understood before. And so, skirmishers play a really big part in this as far as uh, slowing an attacker or attacker using skirmishers to kind of help move defenders out of the way or, distract defenders while the attacker moves up. But anyway, basically, what the French need to do is they need to start from the south here, move down this on either side of this road in these wooded area and over in this open area, and that's their ultimate goal is to get north of this road and also capture Quatre Bras and then hold it against a or against an Allied counterattack of troops that will be coming this way from the north. And here's some of the Allied reinforcements, coming in later on in the game. Um, haven't really gotten too far into it. Still trying to learn the rules, but so far pleasantly surprised. Really, really enjoying some of these old SPI games. I've got a whole bunch more that I've traded for that are on the way that I can't wait to try out. And so just goes to show you, I mean, I had this preconception that the old SBI games were just all, way outdated, and that's really not the case. You can't really ever judge a book by its cover. So anyway, this has just been my first impressions of Ney versus Wellington, and here's the box cover. Pretty cool box cover, and I'm gonna keep soloing this for a while, and I'll maybe try to report in later about how things are going. Thanks.